The woman accidentally walked in on her CEO boyfriend acting intimate with his first love in his office. The CEO gave her an indifferent glance, thinking she would make a scene like she used to. But instead of getting angry, the woman remained calm, walked over to his desk, and handed him the project proposal she had prepared. After the CEO signed it, the woman turned to leave, but his first love deliberately called out to her. She put on a troubled expression and said her shoelace had come undone. Then she asked, "Could you help tie my shoelace for me? I'm in a dress, so it's hard for me to bend down." Seeing this, the CEO wanted to help her himself, but his first love refused to let him. She deliberately placed the CEO's hand on her waist and said in a sweet, clingy voice that she only wanted him to hold her while the woman tied her shoelace for her. The woman knew very well that his first love was deliberately trying to humiliate her, but she did not argue. She simply crouched down and tied her shoelace for her. Seeing this, the CEO was very confused. He felt as if the woman had become a completely different person. In the past, if he so much as gave another woman a second glance, she would get jealous and cry and make a scene for the entire night. But now, she stayed silent the entire time, without saying a single unnecessary word. After work, the CEO saw the woman waiting for a ride by the roadside, so he ordered her to get into his car. The woman calmly said that she had already called a ride. The CEO instinctively assumed she was playing hard to get and wanted him to coax her, so he said impatiently, "Stop being so dramatic. It's not like you haven't ridden in my car before. We've done far more intimate things than this. Why are you acting like we're strangers now? Get in the car." After the woman got into the car, the CEO secretly looked down on her in his heart. He felt that since the two of them had once been so close, it was only natural for her to ride in his car. He also believed that she had stayed at the company after their breakup because she still could not bear to leave him, so he planned to deliberately ignore her for a few days and knock down her temper a little. But what he did not know was that from the moment he said, "We were just having fun. Don't take it seriously," the woman had already come to her senses completely. Once, she had cried through countless nights because of this relationship. It was only after her tears had completely dried up that she finally understood how foolish it was to cry over a man. From that day on, she swore that she would never shed another tear over love again. From now on, she would only cry over money. The next day, the assistant delivered an envelope to the CEO. The CEO remembered the promise the two of them had once made. If there were feelings that were hard to say face to face, they could write them in a letter instead of hiding them in their hearts. He thought the woman had finally been unable to hold back and had written him a letter to back down and soften toward him. So without even looking at it, he casually tossed the envelope aside. He had no idea that what was inside the envelope was not a heartfelt letter, but the woman's resignation letter. At this point, the woman had already left the city and returned to her remote rural hometown. For several days in a row, the CEO still did not receive any messages from the woman. Finally, he could no longer sit still. He decided to put aside his pride and go look for her himself. But no matter how many times he knocked on the door, no one inside responded. For the first time, the always proud CEO tasted what it felt like to be completely ignored. That night, the frustrated CEO went to a bar to drown his feelings. A friend beside him could not help teasing him, asking if he had already fallen in love with that woman long ago. But the CEO was still stubborn and refused to admit that he had already fallen for her. Just then, the woman came looking for him. The drunk CEO suddenly pulled her into his arms and said, "I knew you wouldn't leave me behind." He even said that he could postpone his engagement party with his first love for her sake. The woman's expression instantly changed. She questioned him about why he wanted to postpone the engagement party, then told him to open his eyes and take a good look at who was standing in front of him. Only then did the CEO suddenly sober up. It turned out that just now, he had mistaken his first love for the woman who had already left. Faced with his first love's questioning, the CEO's expression turned ice cold. He told her, "This is nothing more than a marriage alliance arranged by our families. Don't mistake it for love. I have no feelings for you whatsoever." The next day, when the CEO came to work at the company, he finally learned that the envelope had contained a resignation letter. He was instantly filled with rage and wanted to send the woman a message to question her. But as soon as he opened his phone, he saw the woman's social media post.